Welcome back, beautiful souls. I'm Lyra Vega, and this week is the calm before the storm, the good kind of storm. On Thursday, Venus comes home to Libra, and love gets noticeably easier for everyone. Thursday into Friday, the Sun shakes hands with Saturn, and whatever you build in those 2 days is built to last. And then, next Wednesday, a total solar eclipse in Leo rewrites the next 6 months of your life. Libra and Leo, this week has your name on it, but every sign gets handed something. Let's read the sky, sign by sign.
Aries.
Aries, Saturn has been retrograde in your sign since late July, quietly asking what you actually meant by all those promises. This week, it stops asking and starts helping.
Thursday into Friday, the Sun in Leo makes a golden fire trine to Saturn in Aries. Enthusiasm and discipline finally on the same team. Those 2 days are the best window of the month to commit to something long-term. The training plan, the business structure, the promise you fully intend to keep. Start at Friday, and it holds. In love, Thursday is your headline. Venus enters Libra and lights up your relationship zone for 5 weeks. Your person becomes easier to talk to, and if you are single, the connection arriving now is the calm, diplomatic kind, not the chaotic kind you are used to chasing. Say yes to the coffee. Money and career ask for a small, unglamorous move. Wednesday's last quarter moon lands in your income zone, so cancel one subscription, renegotiate one bill, cut one quiet leak. You're alert, with the eclipse arriving next Wednesday in your creativity and romance zone. Do not launch the big creative project this week. Prepare it. The launch energy belongs to next week, and it is worth the wait. And your advice, Aries, build the frame now. The fire comes to fill it. Taurus. The sky slows down in your favor this week. Wednesday's last quarter moon happens in your sign, and quarter moons are edit moons. Something needs to be released so the next chapter has room. Look at what you have been carrying out of pure habit, not love. One thing, let it go by the weekend, and you will feel 10 pounds lighter. Thursday, your ruling planet Venus enters Libra and moves into your daily work and health zone for 5 weeks. The office gets more pleasant, a colleague becomes an ally, and your routine finally starts to feel good instead of just functional. This is genuinely one of the best windows of the year to start a habit you want to keep, because Venus makes it enjoyable. And you only keep what you enjoy.
In love, the pressure of July lifts. The Venus and Mars square is separating, so a tension with your person quietly resolves without a big conversation.
Money looks steady, and Thursday into Friday's Sun-Saturn trine favors a professional commitment happening behind the scenes. You're alert. With the eclipse in Leo hitting your home zone next week, this is not the week to sign a lease or start a renovation. Look, plan, wait. And your advice, Taurus, release one heavy thing now, and the eclipse will hand you something better. Gemini.
Your ruling planet finally gets its freedom back.
On Thursday, Mercury leaves the shadow of its June retrograde for good, and everything that has felt like it was moving through syrup since late June starts moving at normal speed again. The delayed document, the unanswered proposal, the conversation stuck in draft, unstuck permanently. And then on Sunday, Mercury enters Leo and lands in your communication zone for 2 full weeks, giving your words extra heat and drama. Pitch, publish, post, and ask. Nobody in the zodiac uses that transit better than you. In love, Thursday is delightful. Venus enters Libra, your romance and creativity zone, for 5 weeks of easier flirting, better dates, and reconnection. If you have been circling someone, this is your season. and you will not have to work hard for it. Money and career benefit from Wednesday's last quarter moon in your rest zone. It asks you to stop doing one thing you took on out of guilt. Dropping it will not cost you what you fear. Your alert. With Mercury sharpening your tongue from Sunday on, remember that clever and kind are not opposites. Pick both. And your advice, Gemini. Your words work this week. Aim them at what you actually want, not just at what is easy to say. Cancer. This is your official exhale. On Thursday, Mercury clears the last of its retrograde shadow at 26 degrees of your sign, which means the messy, misunderstood, everything repeating energy of the last 6 weeks is now completely behind you. Whatever conversation you have been dreading, have it Thursday or later. The sky is finally on your side for being understood. On the same day, Venus enters Libra and settles into your home and family zone for 5 weeks. The house gets warmer, a family knot loosens, and hosting someone you love becomes the highlight of your month. If you are decorating or reorganizing, Venus makes it beautiful and easy. In love, home is the theme rather than adventure. The best romance this week happens on your couch, not out in the world. Money and career get a solid boost Thursday into Friday when the Sun trines Saturn. A person in charge takes you seriously, and a steady, structural yes is available if you ask plainly. Your alert. Wednesday's last quarter moon in your friendship zone may show you which group has quietly stopped fitting.
Notice it without making an announcement. And your advice, Cancer, your voice works again. Use it first on the person you have been avoiding.
Leo. Everything is pointing at you, and it builds all months. Start with Sunday. Mercury enters Leo and stays for 2 weeks, handing you the microphone. Your ideas become expressible, your charm becomes verbal, and the pitch you have been rehearsing finally comes out right. Before that, Thursday into Friday, the Sun in your sign trines Saturn in Aries, the single best window of the month to turn your talent into something structural, a contract, a schedule, a real plan behind the dream. Talent plus structure is what separates a good year from a great one, and this week hands you both. In love, Venus enters Libra on Thursday, warming your communication zone. The conversation with your person becomes lighter and more affectionate, and if you are single, someone becomes interesting through words first.
Money and career look strong, with Wednesday's last quarter moon asking you to close one professional loop before the big week arrives.
You're alert, and this is the important one. A total solar eclipse lands in Leo next Wednesday. Eclipses in your own sign reset your identity for 6 months. So this week, do not start the new chapter, finish the old one. Clean the desk, close the tab, end the arrangement that has expired. And your advice, Leo, get ready. The sky is about to hand you the pen.
Virgo.
Virgo, your quiet season continues, and it is doing more for you than you think.
The sun is still in Leo, the most private corner of your chart, until late August, which makes this a month of finishing rather than starting. And on Sunday, Mercury, your ruling planet, joins the sun there for 2 weeks. Expect your inner voice to get unusually clear. Insights arrive in the shower, on walks, and at 3 in the morning. Write them down because they are instructions for your birthday season. Thursday brings a real upgrade. Venus enters Libra and moves into your money and self-worth zone for 5 weeks. That is one of the best financial transits of your year. Pricing conversations go smoothly, a client or employer becomes generous, and something you own or make gets valued properly. Ask for the number Thursday or later. In love, Venus in your value zone makes you want substance over sparkle, and a partner who shows up practically will move you more than one who performs. Thursday into Friday's Sun-Saturn trine helps you build the structure quietly. Your alert. Wednesday's last quarter moon in your travel and belief zone says an idea you have outgrown is asking to be retired. Let it. And your advice, Virgo, rest, brace yourself properly, and let the eclipse do the loud part. Libra. Welcome to your best week in months. On Thursday, Venus, your ruling planet, comes home to Libra, where it is strongest, and stays until September 10th. When Venus is in its own sign, and that sign is yours, life gets easier in a way people notice. You look better, you feel better, and doors that were stiff swing open. Use it. Schedule the important conversation, the negotiation, the reconciliation, the first date, the photo, the ask. All of it works better after Thursday. In love, this is the most favored week of your year so far. If you are partnered, plan something that feels like the beginning again. If you are single, be visible. Venus in Libra makes you magnetic without effort, and you will not need to chase anyone. Money and career get their own gift Thursday into Friday, when the Sun trines Saturn in your partnership zone. A business relationship or contract can be locked in with confidence, and the terms will hold. Wednesday's last quarter moon in your shared resources zone asks you to settle one financial loose end first, so clear that before you sign.
Your alert. With the eclipse next week in your friendship and community zone, do not overcommit socially this week. Save some room.
And your advice, Libra? Your ruler is home. Scorpio.
Scorpio, the top of your chart stays lit. The sun continues in Leo, your career zone, and Thursday into Friday it makes a strong trine to Saturn. This is the week your reputation for delivering turns into something official.
A title, a contract, a responsibility that comes with real weight. Say yes to the wait. You have been ready for it longer than they realized. On Sunday, Mercury enters Leo and joins that career zone for 2 weeks, so your professional voice gets louder and more persuasive. Prepare the pitch now and deliver it after Sunday. In love, Thursday softens everything. Venus enters Libra, your zone of rest and private life, for 5 weeks. Romance becomes quieter and more intimate, less about being seen together and more about being known. That suits you perfectly. Money looks steady, though Wednesday's last quarter moon in your partnership zone may expose one imbalance in who gives what. Name it calmly. The fix is simpler than the silence. Your alert. With the eclipse in Leo next week landing at the very top of your chart, do not resign, do not announce, do not blow anything up this week. Position yourself and wait. And your advice, Scorpio, quiet ambition wins this week. Sagittarius. The horizon keeps calling, and this week it gets practical. The sun in Leo continues to light up your travel, study, and meaning zone, and Thursday into Friday, it trines Saturn in Aries. Adventure meets structure, which for you means the trip finally gets dates, the course finally gets enrolled in, the big idea finally gets a schedule. Dreams with deadlines come true. Dreams without them stay dreams. Use those 2 days for the boring, beautiful logistics. On Sunday, Mercury enters Leo and joins that same zone for 2 weeks, making it a great period to write, teach, publish, or apply.
In love, Thursday brings a warm shift. Venus enters Libra, your friendship and community zone, for 5 weeks.
Romance grows out of social life now, so say yes to the group thing, the wedding, the party you were going to skip. Someone interesting is in that room. Money and career get a nudge from Wednesday's last quarter moon in your daily work zone. One task on your list is quietly obsolete. Delete it. You're alert. The eclipse next week arrives in your travel and belief zone, so hold off on booking anything expensive until after the 12th. And your advice, Sagittarius, put a date on the dream this week. The sky handles the rest next week. Capricorn. Capricorn.
Capricorn, this week rewards exactly what you are best at.
Thursday into Friday, the Sun in Leo trines your ruling planet Saturn in Aries, and that is your signature aspect. Patience, structure, and ambition all clicking into place. Anything you formalize in those 2 days has staying power. A contract, a savings plan, a family agreement, a role. Sign it, define it, write it down. In love, Thursday brings Venus into Libra and to the very top of your chart for 5 weeks, which does something interesting. Your public life becomes attractive. You get noticed by the right people, and a relationship may go public, get official, or start to look like a partnership on paper. If you have been quietly seeing someone, this is when it becomes real to the outside world. Money benefits from Wednesday's last quarter moon in your romance and creativity zone. An expensive pleasure that stopped being pleasurable can be cut without regret. Career stays strong all week, especially after Thursday. You're alert. With the eclipse next week in your home and foundation zone, do not make a permanent decision about where you live this week. Gather information only. And your advice, Capricorn, put it in writing this week. Aquarius. Partnership is the whole story right now. The Sun in Leo sits in your relationship zone, and Thursday into Friday, it trines Saturn in Aries, which means a commitment can be made real. Not romantic in the flowery sense, but structural, the kind that actually holds. A shared plan, a business agreement, a promise with a date attached. Then Thursday, Venus enters Libra and expands your world for 5 weeks, bringing pleasure through travel, learning, and people from different backgrounds. If you have been feeling boxed in, this transit is the window opening. In love, that combination is unusually kind to you. Existing relationships gain both freedom and structure at the same time, which is the exact balance you always ask for and rarely get. Take it. Money and career look calm, with Wednesday's last quarter moon in your home zone asking you to finish one domestic task you have been avoiding for weeks. 20 minutes and it is gone. You're alert. The eclipse next Wednesday lands in your relationship zone, so a partnership story reaches a turning point in 7 days.
This week, decide what you want it to become without announcing it yet.
And your advice, Aquarius, agree to the structure. It is what makes the freedom last. Pisces. Your week is built out of small, real improvements. The Sun in Leo continues in your daily work and health zone, and Thursday into Friday, it trines Saturn in Aries. The perfect sky for building a routine that actually survives contact with your real life. Start small enough to be boring, and it will still be there in November. Your body responds especially well to structure this week, so sleep and meals matter more than motivation. Thursday brings the emotional highlight. Venus enters Libra and moves into your zone of intimacy and shared resources for 5 weeks.
Closeness deepens, a financial arrangement with someone becomes fairer, and a conversation you thought would be uncomfortable turns out to be tender.
In love, this is the week for the honest talk about needs, and the sky guarantees a soft landing. Money gets clearer too. Something owed, shared, or tangled starts to resolve in your favor after Thursday. Wednesday's last quarter moon in your communication zone asks you to stop repeating one story about yourself that is no longer true. You're alert? With the eclipse next week in your work and health zone, do not overhaul your whole routine now. Change one thing. And your advice, Pisces, the small structure you build this week is what carries the magic next week.
That was your week, beautiful souls. Tell me your sign in the comments and what you are getting ready for. I read every single one. If Lyra earned it, subscribe and tap the bell because next Wednesday brings a total solar eclipse in Leo, one of the biggest sky events of the year, and we will read it together right here on Sunday. Until then, eyes on the stars, feet on the ground.